Happy New Year to everyone who has been listening to the BOYSCAST and subscribing to the Patreon. We have a big New Year's resolution that we want to say that me and Danny will both be agreeing in 2023 to forget. We're going to...
No longer judge.
No longer judge is a huge one.
Uphold the rule of law.
We had agreed that upholding the rule of law was very important to us, which is why we will be announcing that we will be the opening act, the BOYSCAST, both of us doing sort of like a bump and mics thing.
Yep.
Opening for none other than comedic legend Bill Cosby.
Boy, am I excited.
On his new tour. And this is a controversial figure.
Yeah, but I mean, he was exonerated.
He was exonerated, and we said that. I go, was he innocent? And our agent came, and they said, yeah.
The Supreme Court said so.
Supreme Court agreed, and we said, well, in that case, let's cause it up.
Cause it up.
America's dad. And
this is not a cause for concern.
This is going to make us...
Do you think that's the title of his new
not a cause
tour, is Cause for Concern?
We're also going to be changing the name of our podcast to America's Sons. America's Sons.
America's Sons.
America's Sons. Doing Legion Halls across America, which is interesting that he made that choice.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an audience that we're opening ourselves up to, a little older, probably more black people.
Definitely blacker.
A little blacker than usual.
That's cool.
But we hope that you guys do support and come to see us. Cause for Concern and America's Sons will
I
be
heard
opening.
from his agent that tickets will be reasonably priced at $245 each.
It's a steal of a deal.
Yeah, it's
not a cause for concern.
Not a cause for concern.
Let's make 2023 the best year yet for the BOYSCAST.
Yep.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The BOYSCAST.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
What's the song?
To ya.
You know, the
Happy New Year.
Oh, that's, I guess, the real one, but there's the other one.
No, that was a fake happy birthday. That was the non-copyright happy birthday.
Okay.
Remember, happy birthday was copyrighted for so long.
Yeah, that's
so then
true.
you had to happy birthday.
We are not going to be doing a 2022 year of review.
No.
We've talked about it, and you know what? I was looking at my podcast app, and they're already starting to come in right and left, and I was just like, you know what?
Yeah, everybody's giving.
We go, what are we gonna? We go, oh yeah, there was Sam Bankman-Fried. That's a thing that happened. We know. Oh, Kanye West. That's
Jew
another
took
one
all
that
my
happened.
money.
The Jewish person took Daniel Polshuck's money.
Well, I'm happy to learn that he is going down.
We could say, I mean, we'll do it other years, but this year it just felt like too.
We should do a
obvious.
2020 year in review.
Just a wrap up of a different year altogether.
Yeah, like
see how you like that.
Well, that's like those really nerdy, esoteric history podcasts right now. As they're going, we're doing 22 year in review, 1922, and then someone goes, "Ooh, that's spicy."
There you go. Also, brought a sponsor on for this episode, Sheath Underwear, our boys.
Wearing them right
Talk
now.
about later. Best song. The only thing we'll do is best song of the year, which is hit them with the shh.
And I got them with that.
Shh. Before, okay, I want to show you one.
You know what's so weird? Because you were like, they're blowing up, and then I was like, I thought they were that where we're talking
I
about
think
that song,
it's
and
over
then
already.
I went and looked at the guy's TikTok because like this guy,
yeah, 5,000 something.
Yeah, he had like 5,000 followers. I was like, oh man, I thought this guy would be popular.
I think it's like an old school one hit wonder potentially.
Yeah.
Look it up. Yeah. But so before I think I just wanted to say, I watched American Underdog, which is like pretty solid, right?
What's that one again?
So American Underdog is this football player, famous guy. I forget his name.
O.J. Simpson.
No. Okay, hold on.
Not a Jew.
Do you not know American Underdog? Okay, look it up while I'm saying this.
Yeah,
But basically, American Underdog is about this like football player he ended up winning like every
Kurt
award.
Warner.
Yeah, it's Kurt Warner. Sorry, yeah.
Kurt Warner.
It's Kurt Warner, and basically
he doesn't believe in gay marriage.
Yeah, he was like working at
a grocery store.
Working at a grocery store, bagging groceries.
And then he was in the I think he got in the XFL, and they got a tryout, and then he was the greatest show on turf.
Playing arena football.
Yeah, arena football. And then
Well, pretty cool.
arena, and then he became the greatest show on turf.
Oh, the movie was pretty solid.
And of course, Dennis Quaid's in that movie.
But the funny part is that the actor that they hired to play is like 39 years old.
He was old.
No, but he was old when he got to the NFL. He was like 26 or something, like pretty old, right? The actor,
I thought he was like in his 30s.
Well, the actor playing it plays him from, high school, and he's at the bar basically just finished, just going into first year of college talking about football or whatever. He's 39 years old, and he's having this, it's his high school sweetheart, and he was like, I might have to go away. And it was like, none of this is crazy. And they're talking about she has a kid, and people are like, are you sure you want to be with a woman that has kids? It's not that crazy if you're 40. So the guy looks so old. old.
Oh, he looks old.
That I had a trouble watching the movie because the actor that they picked was just so old.
I thought he was younger when he got in the NFL. Or older, sorry.
More importantly.
Do you see who the name of the person who plays Marshall Falk?
No, who's
Is
that?
Marshall Falk a prominent character? He was the running back on The Greatest Show on Turf. But the guy who plays him is an actor whose name is O.J. Simpson.
There's no actor named O.J. Simpson.
Okay, so I took a little liberty with it.
You think you would change
His name
your
is
name?
O.J. Keith Simpson.
Stop it.
And he plays a running back in a movie. His name is O.J.
And also an actor. That person must have to so often correct people where he goes,
He has
I'm
one,
actually O.J. Keith Simpson.
Okay, so he has, I'm looking at his IMDb. He has one credit, this movie. Other than that, he's
got to be messing with people with that name.
O.J. Keith Simpson.
Change it back to Orenthal, pal.
I don't know. Well,
The black guy?
yeah.
Oh
I mean, he plays a football player. He plays a running back.
my God, you're thinking of that guy. Probably can't do that great on the dating app.
No.
You don't know. You're thinking of O.J. Simpson. I'm O.J. Keith Simpson. It happens all the
That
time.
happens all the time. I also played a running back in a big movie.
Yo, that's crazy. That's got to be a troll.
I don't know.
Well, more importantly, the girl, Anna Paquin, right?
Yeah.
She plays in this movie and she's supposed to dress like his normal wife who has like a weird hairdo.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks exactly like Michael Myers. So we're going to put this up on the screen too. Okay, look at this. Hold on. I'll show you. Tell me this isn't like the most accurate meme that I made. So this is her and this is... They're identical.
Oh, I thought you meant Mike Myers like the comedian.
No. Michael Myers.
Yeah, she looks odd. You know what she looks like? You know when a guy has a haircut and then he gets rid of his sideburns, like gets total rid of the sideburns, and you're like,
Goes a little too high?
Yeah, and you're like, something is so weird right now, and I'm not sure what.
No, she looks like she was electrocuted.
She does. She looks like the kid from Deliverance a bit.
Oh, she also looks like a boy.
Yeah, she looks like the kid from Deliverance.
So, but the thing I was making me laugh though was if you look up his normal wife, she sort of has this look, right?
Yeah.
Watch, if you look at the guy's wife, she's got like a wacky sort of like lesbian haircut, right?
Okay.
But so Anna Paquin, who's actually like decent looking, basically goes, "I'm gonna look like his wife," and then they just
his wife looks like Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah. She
Like
looks so
legit.
much like
His wife
Lisa
looks like
Lampanelli. Yeah.
Now.
So much.
Lisa Lampanelli
after
now.
she lost the weight.
Yeah.
But isn't that like a punch in the like sort of a shot to the face where we go, we got this Hollywood actress and we uglied her up and gave her the worst haircut to make her look like your wife.
His wife kind of looks like Michael Malice. Like right here.
Yeah, definitely a little bit. So they basically made this girl. They made her look like a legitimate like horror villain, so they can make him play his wife.
You know what it is? I think maybe the actor has too much like Botox, so she looks surprised. Like she has that like surprised Botox.
I think they might have thinned her eyebrows out too. She looks like someone that doesn't have eyebrows altogether.
She looks like this.
Now, if you're audio listener right now, you're gonna want to pop this photo.
Pop
up.
a photo of Anna Paquin as Kurt.
I'll post it on the BOYSCAST Instagram too. But do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
If someone made a movie of you and they go, "Yeah, we're hiring this girl to pay your wife," you go, "That'd be pretty good." And then you see the movie and you go, "Why'd you make her so ugly?" We go, "I'm trying to be true to your wife's image."
Yeah. Well,
They made her look super busted.
Like.
So
Super busted.
If I was Kurt Warner, I would just be like, "My wife's not that gross."
Yeah. I'm sure he signed off on it though.
You think? But he might not have saw it with the makeup artist where they were putting white on her face and slicking back her hair like that to that extent.
Yeah.
So she's really looking weird.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, pretty good, solid movie. Liked it.
Okay.
You know, the sports talks always.
I mean, I love
sports
that.
movies always.
I love.
My
I mean,
shit.
it's an amazing story. It's so funny
crazy
that Dennis
story,
Quaid's in
yeah.
it because Dennis Quaid is also in another. He's in so many of these sports. Wasn't he in Miracle on Ice?
He's a sports guy,
but he's also in these good sports stories, I guess. But then there's the other one where remember the high school pitcher who is or not high school, he was a high school science teacher, and then he was the coach for the baseball team, and then the kids were like, "Yo, you got to go try out for the Tampa Bay Rays." Because he could throw like 99 miles an hour, and then he made the team.
and he was just a coach before
He was
that.
just like this fat dude with a mustache.
Those stories kick ass.
But anyways, Dennis Quaid
I don't think
played
it could
him.
happen with other positions. I obviously like pitcher and a quarterback. It's a little different because it's more of like a thinking position.
Yeah.
So there's
Well,
a lot of
quarterback
people
is
have their
still-
best seasons with.
Well, no, he was good.
Older.
He just sometimes you just need a chance, or you're like a late bloomer. Like he was a late bloomer, but also like he was still 27. It's not like he was like, oh, this guy's 38 years old.
I played hockey with a guy that was on.
But there's
the Leafs right now. Actually,
You played hockey with the guys on the Leafs right now?
you know this.
I mean,
my
I know.
dad calls me once a day to tell me.
Because it's could have been you.
Fuck, what was the guy's name?
I don't know.
I played on his team one year, and he was like, he didn't make it to the Leafs till he was like 25 or something weird like that.
Michael Bunting?
No.
Michael Bunting was
I think his name might have been Michael, though.
I mean, I think that's the only... Michael Bunting was like a really old rookie, but it wouldn't be you. How would you play with him?
I played with a guy. Hold on. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Oh, I mean, no, it wouldn't be Matt Murray.
I'm going to call my dad. Find this out.
All right.
See if he answers.
Let's see.
But no, so...
Wayne Simmons? No. He was a star.
No, so I played hockey with him a couple seasons or whatever.
Chris Timmons?
No, wasn't him. And then he basically, was... Hey, we're actually recording the podcast. Who was the guy that I played hockey with that was on the Leafs?
Oh, shoot. Do you remember the guy that Brian played hockey with that was on the Leafs? Mike something?
I told you it was Mike something.
I mean, he had to have been born in there.
Okay, text.
Not Michael Bunting?
And honestly, I remember at the time it was me.
I mean, based on
they said it was either me or him.
I mean, based on the ages, it can only be like Jake Muzzin.
Mike, his name's Michael.
There's only one guy on the Leafs named Michael. It's Michael Bunting.
Maybe he's not on the Leafs anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay, type in Michael Leafs.
I mean, this is so Canadian because like every Canadian person's like, yeah, I also played hockey with a guy who used to be on the Leafs too. Every person in Canada has played hockey.
This is some great podcasting right now.
Dude, every person in Canada has played hockey with somebody who was on the Leafs.
You're right though. When you type in Michael, it's only Bunting.
I watched the Leafs.
I think I know if I played with Michael Bunting. It wasn't Michael Bunting.
He's 10 years younger than you. You didn't play with Michael Bunting.
I wasn't Michael Bunting. It was a different Michael.
Well, there's no more Michaels.
I'm
going to have to go to look at
Okay, type in Mike.
the AHL roster.
No, he was a real deal, buddy.
Mike Amadio?
No. Okay, we're going to get the info. That's going to be coming in.
Mitch Marner? No.
Nah, we're going to have to. Well, my dad's on the case right now.
All right, Smooth is on it.
Yeah, Smooth is on the case right now, but.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways. But
Michael Hutchinson.
Well, the reason on the wasn't Michael Hutchinson,
right.
But on the topic of Canadians, so we have probably one of our best articles. Danny actually found probably one of the best articles ever. But the Canadian accent was ranked one of the sexiest accents in the world in 2022.
Oh fuck yeah, bud!
Oh, this is so crazy.
I would like to counter that. As someone who has maybe one of the greatest stories of all time involving a sexy Canadian
It wasn't
accent.
as sexy as they're making it
at
out
the
to
time, so people don't know this, but I've told this story before. But
it was in my special.
Right.
I was the fourth. Every single one of us tried to make it work.
I know.
Well, I just used it as a one tag.
Yeah. But I was actually having intercourse with a nice lass from up north, and she was like, "Oh, frig," as I was giving it to her, and let me tell you, it was not sexy at the time.
No, because they're thinking. I think what they're thinking.
But this thing is saying women's Canadian accent.
They also said they like that the women's Canadian accent, which is maybe the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking slide her in there. Oh, frig.
That'll do her. I'll get.
She was like super hot too, and then she was like, "Oh, frig.
Oh, give her hell there, buddy." You're getting head. The girl goes. She goes, "You like that, pal, Chief?
Chief,
you liking that head there, Chief?"
Oh yeah.
I think what's happened is because of like the Nelk boys, and it's became like frat
for
American
sure. Yeah,
thing.
it has become a frat American thing. I've seen TikToks where people are like, "Yeah, I just was in Tennessee and someone was like talking in the Canadian."
No, I know
accent.
people are talking like that.
Yeah, it's catching on.
It caught on because it just became hockey. No, it became a hockey thing.
Yeah,
and then that became like a frat thing. I think.
Yeah, probably with Letterkenny is like popular, so then it's just
potentially some of that. But I'll tell you, there's nothing hot about making out with a girl and she's like, "Yeah, come in here, bud. I'm gonna tune you right up." Oh yeah, tune that up there, eh?
Just any A.
Oh,
I fucking sucked her good, eh? I guess. Yeah, you did.
Bud, you want me to spit her or swallow her? Swallow her.
Swallow her? You want me to fucking swallow her?
Yeah, it's not hot.
This guy having sex with Rick Rowley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, flip me over there, pal.
Yeah, what are you fucking waiting on? Just fucking give her a flip. Tune me up.
Hey, pass the double there. She wants a sip of her coffee while they're doing it.
That is, the fucking dirt.
She's just hacking a
I'm
dart on top of it.
parched. Where's my double-double?
I try to lube it up with the double. I actually went to Tim Hortons and me and my brother had a pretty funny thing because the names there were getting like really, really insane. So they're embarrassing to say. It's kind of like that Bill Burr joke where he has that joke where he's like, when someone asks for a cookie.
Yeah.
And then he was like, like a girl, which I actually was one of the most things that I felt like when he said that. I know exactly what he means. He was basically like, you're at a place and the guy's like, and would you like a cookie? And he was like, don't fucking grown man. You don't ask me if I'm a grown man. I'm asking. It was just like his joke was that like it pissed him off and he knew that he had like a rage problem. or whatever.
Yeah.
But like the things there where it was literally like, okay, you're like, I'll just get the crunchy one. And they're like, and what's it called? And you're like, the Tasty Tasterino Silly Boy Supreme. You have to say, because it is just like, makes you feel like a little bitch to have to ask him, yes, I would like to have the Tasty Tasterino.
The Tasty Tasterino, yeah.
Can I get the Silly Boy sandwich? Please just get a Silly Boy sandwich Supreme, please.
With tangy tomatoes.
The tangy tomato tangerinos. But I do get that. I hate saying like that. Like the word like treat just drives me nuts when someone's. That's why when I'm at a restaurant and the people come up and they go, "Is it tasty?" And I was like, "Don't worry about whether it's tasty. None of your business."
I'm literally food blind. It's
none of your business whether it's tasty or not.
None of your fucking beeswax.
If it's tasty, I take that to the grave. I'll never say it's tasty.
The only way you'll know
it's pretty good. They go, but is it tasty? Tell me that it's tasty.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, here we got it. The word came in. Michael Koska.
Michael Koska?
Yeah. He had very blonde hair.
As in Canada, as Canadians would say, he had a cup of coffee with the team. That's all. That's what they say in hockey. That guy was not a fucking. He had a cup. He had a cup with the team, not a Stanley Cup. He had a fucking cup of coffee. Michael Koska. Oh yeah, I remember.
Now he remembers.
He's friends with DJ.
Okay, yeah, he's around.
He's friends with fucking DJ DeMiro.
Me and him used to play puck together.
Yeah,
I remember the coach would look at me dead in the eyes and say, "It's either you or Ryan." And I said, "Honestly, I'm thinking about doing this whole podcasting thing, so I'm going to let you take it." I let him win. The scouts were there, and I remember the scouts were out, and I was like, I thought
you were talking about somebody recently. Yeah, he played 85 games in the NHL
recently. You know, we're not in our prime age.
That's what
Danny.
I thought. I know. That's why I thought you were saying.
I don't know if you think we're in our prime.
Well, I'm just wondering how this
years.
I've known you since he was on the Leafs. How is this just coming up now?
Because you don't fucking open your eyes, bud. You don't pay attention.
This guy had a fucking cup with the Leafs. Cup of coffee with the Leafs. 35 games.
35 games is nothing.
35 games. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, 35 games played. 8 points, 8 assists, 27 pims.
It was actually, I'll tell you what though, going back to Canada. So I went back. I told you last week that I'm not going to do a whole crazy synopsis, but basically I told you they were trying to cancel. It was like snowstorms everywhere.
Fucking cancel culture, huh?
My mom was participating in cancel culture. Bud. It was a pretty Canadian experience. I go back. It's a snowstorm. Every plane's getting canceled. I get off. I haven't driven in 3 years, by the way. So I have to go get my license, get a truck.
I mean, what people don't know is what you were like when you were driving.
This is the sort of the fake news that Danny likes to spit around. The thing is, I have really quick reflexes, but I don't actually crash, but I drive recklessly.
Sure.
But it's not actually reckless because my reflexes are so good. So I get with someone that has slower reflexes, you're like, oh my God.
Ryan, at the fucking our old office one time, you got out of your truck, left it in gear, and then we both got out, and you got out not realizing that it was still in gear and the keys were in, and then it just went into the wall. Where are your fucking reflexes there, bud?
How is that a reflex issue?
Well, you didn't hop in and fucking slam on the brakes.
I do a lot of that kind of stuff. That's more of a loopiness. But once you get me on the highway, I used to be able to do a U-turn on a one-way. I actually have motor skills.
The J-stop, where you like slam on the thing.
I have motor skills. So yeah, I haven't driven in 3 years because we've been in New York and you can't have a car, and I couldn't get my license because of Canadian bureaucracy.
So did you get your license?
Yeah, I did get my license. Well, if they send it to me, right now I have the temporary again. So this is the whole thing. Last time they said they were going to send it to me, and they never sent it to me. I go back. I get this truck. My mom lives in the fucking sticks. Yeah. So I drive like 2.5 hours. I'm driving through a blizzard.
Yeah.
like a legitimate blizzard for.
I mean, the whole thing
4
was
hours.
They were like, "Hey, if you don't have to drive, don't." And Ryan's fucking like a rube on the road.
We had to do this thing. It was either that or there's gonna screw the next day, and now they're trying to get me to change my flights. At one point, my mom's like, "Why don't you just come back next week?" I go, "Shut!" I literally messaged my brothers. I go, "Take her out of the group chats." So,
have you considered Islam?
So basically, I drive 4 hours there. Then we get there. Power goes out immediately. So we're there. My stepdad's in the garage trying to get the Jenny working.
Oh, the fucking Jenny.
So at one point, we're opening presents. There's candles on.
Oh.
So it's candles.
Now you know how Jews feel.
So they don't have enough rooms. So my brothers were staying at a hotel, but you can't get to the hotel. And then the hotel had no power. So we just had people like sleeping on the couch and stuff like that.
I guess the old truck, the old like present delivery outside.
That was my dad's, not my mom's.
Oh, okay.
But so then basically, there's not enough place to sleep. There's no power. And then basically, then in the morning, I have to shovel this huge driveway. I'm driving back through 4 hours. So in like a 24-hour span, I drove 8 hours of a blizzard, shoveling driveways. There's no power.
It's not very Bugman of you.
Get me back to New York.
This is the least Bugman shit you've done in a long time.
It actually was. Shoveling. I'm driving through blizzards. Everyone's yapping in my ear. I'm telling you, my friend.
Practicing for the Bugathlon.
And then I went to my buddy's Christmas because on Christmas Day I got nothing to do, so I go to Waldo's thing, and then we go out with a bunch of Ajax mans, like old school mans that we grew up with.
Yeah.
There's within 2 hours, another one of our buddies comes, gets into a fight with another guy. They're in each other's face. One guy gets kicked out of the party. I've been there for 45 minutes at this point. People are fucking have their shirts off doing blow, tattoos on their face. I feel like I'm in a trap house basically.
Yeah,
dude, it was full Ajax experience. It was a tutorial of like when they say the guys that didn't leave the hometown.
Yeah, of course.
It really was like I'm not kidding. I've been there for 45 minutes. People are in their faces, yelling and screaming and stuff like that. I'm trying
and then they're like, but they're buddies after.
Oh, I'm the
whole thing.
I'm the city boy, the New York guy. That I'm like, guys.
Yeah, the
it'll
old
be fine. They're like, shut the fuck up, comedian. Punch me in the drug. This isn't between you, but you don't understand. We got unfinished business here. People are fighting.
It's like, Ryan, do a line. You're like, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. I don't want to do a line. Like, oh, fucking Mr. City Slicker. Can't do a fucking rail in the afternoon.
Can't do a rail at noon.
All right.
Oh, yeah. There was trouble over there. I'll tell you one thing that was made me laugh. Maybe it's a sketch or something, but the guy that at the party showing up to like New York style party and then being like, yo, you want me to put on Kanye? And everyone's like, oh, he's like, but like, it's like, come on, we still like Kanye. And then everyone like getting your shuffle and then just putting on the interview with him and Alex Jones, like at a party. Yo, you want some Kanye? Everyone's like, fine, whatever. Throw on Kanye because you have some reservations about it. And then you put it on. He's like, Hitler is a great guy. And you go, oh, you guys meant songs.
Oh, songs. Oh. It's not that kind of party.
Yeah, throwing on some Kanye, but like throwing on straight up like Kanye best of podcasting moments.
Gavin McInnes.
Yeah.
I love Hitler.
You're the one that's sort of actually been on a party bender, though.
I've been, I went to fish last night. And I'm going to fish tonight for the listeners.
Party Danny.
And tomorrow night. No, they're a little faster paced. They fucking
man, that's gonna be you in a Santa hat. There were a
lot of people.
Your eyes just fucking glazed over.
So many wacky people.
One day wasn't enough for Danny. He has to go back to back fish. He bought out all the tickets.
I bought a pass.
You bought a pass?
Yeah, we got a 4-day pass.
Yeah, but you got a 4-day pass.
Well, you can. What happens is there's this lottery.
Did you do drugs last night?
No. I smoked weed. I had a couple drinks, but.
Party Danny's out in full effect.
Not a young man anymore where I can just do drugs 4 nights in a row.
Yeah, that's a little much.
That's a lot.
Well, so back to the accent thing. The crazy part was, so they basically said the other sexiest accents were British, Australian, French, and the Stephen Hawking's accent, which I felt like was weird. that got on there.
The Stephen Hawking, yeah, that's an interesting one.
That's crazy, right?
Oh, fuck me.
You know what actually was because you know how like Stephen Hawking's like cheated on his wife famously?
Yeah.
Which means that, like, there is a bit to say if Stephen Hawking can get snatched, what's your excuse? Like, would he not have been the ultimate, like, red pill guy? Because a lot of them, the shtick is that, like, I was not that good at girls and now I'm good at them.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't really be, like, a getting pussy pickup artist tutorial guy, but you're just, like, crazy good looking and rich.
Well, what happens is once you reach certain status, they come to you. You don't have to be.
And Stephen Hawking's is that, right?
Yeah.
So if I just like the idea of like he was getting so much snatch that means like girls were throwing at him. But imagine being the girl that got turned down by Stephen Hawking, where she's like, you know what? I don't care what you look like. I think you're just so sexy and I want to suck you off. And he's like, gross.
Swipe left.
You're getting swerved by Stephen Hawking.
The Stephen Hawking when you nut but she keeps sucking meme is maybe one of the best memes of all time. It's like a top 10 meme.
Yuck.
Yuck. Keep it moving. Whore.
Yeah, the girl that gets swerved by Stephen Hawking is so funny. Yo, how do you date a girl after she got? It's like I guess in Seinfeld he got turned down by Newman, but how could you date a girl that like she got turned down by Stephen Hawking?
Well, his roster was full.
He was too full.
He was all booked up.
Yeah, but the people here who say that. The people here that say the Canadian accent is the hottest one is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also it is like, to be funny, the funny part is that these articles, I don't know why, you'd think that they'd get a little mad because whenever they pick the sexiest ones, it's literally just like white accents. There's never like, you're never going to see, because they said the least sexiest ones was like Chinese, Japanese, Indian, the ones you'd think, right?
The Flam languages. Israel, Hebrew.
Yeah.
It's the Flam languages.
But like no one's ever gonna win like sexiest accent, and it's like hello, you know.
Yeah. Apu's not winning sexiest accent.
Never gonna win sexiest accent.
That's how she goes.
I don't mind it on a girl though, to be completely honest.
How thick though?
I guess I think girls don't like a guy as much with like a thick Chinese
because
accent.
guys don't give a shit. If you're super hot, you could literally. Who gives a shit about your fucking accent?
No one.
Nobody.
Well, I actually like it. I like the.
Or you like it? There you go.
On a girl, yeah. You know what it is. Toronto accent would probably be the least. Honestly. Yeah. So, anyways, I thought that was pretty funny that that's getting the lexicon that Canadian accent sexy. Give me a break, pal.
Give me a fucking break, bud.
But they said so. This tiny fact. They did this article about what makes us subconsciously mimic the accent of others in conversations. So a bunch of that is like, you know, what people call like code switching, which I think everyone does.
Just trying to relate to them, kind of.
And we all know
it's like
that
the where you body language,
your body language, and we all know a person that like went to Australia and they come back and they're like, "Oh yeah, mate," and you're just like, "What is this? You've been gone for a year, right? Like, what are you doing right now?"
Obnoxious.
Yeah, it is obnoxious to go to Australia for a year and come back and you're asking me, "What was your flat?" and you're like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like unless you're use that language there.
Yeah, if you want to do that there, that's
like
fine,
I assure you, like I don't.
Seems like you're putting it on.
Yeah, I mean,
you want people to ask, so you can go, "Oh," you go, "Why are you talking like that?" You go, "Oh, I didn't tell you. I just spent a year in Australia."
Like if I'm talking to one of my friends from back home over text, I won't say like gallons. Like I'll still say liters.
You're not.
Whereas if I talk to someone here,
you
like,
code switch back to
Canadian. I'm switching back and forth, and my spelling and stuff. And
you switch the spelling back and forth.
Yeah,
because you're right. Because it does feel obnoxious. Like they're gonna be like,
"Oh, I don't use yous anymore. Sorry, guys. I live in America now."
It does feel like
poor losers who have to use the yous all the time.
It does feel like you're trying to be a fancy boy.
Yeah,
right?
It just feels obnoxious. Like.
But the funny part is subconsciously mimic the accents in conversation is when you're doing, like you're out there being like, "Hello, how are you doing?" Like you go to India for like a week and then you come back and you're like, "No, you don't understand. I spent a week in India."
I was in India for a week.
"Oh, how are you all doing?" "No, I just did a trip to Japan." "Oh, yeah,
yeah, you're like,
no, you don't understand. I was just in Japan."
Yeah, I go, maybe don't do that at the Tim Hortons when you're ordering. That seems.
I used to always.
They don't know that you were.
Every girl that I've ever dated, always when you go on a trip, they try to say just the words, like the specific words. So they'll be like, "Okay, and how much is this? Okay, and I'll have this. Okay, oh, gracias." they just say.
I actually, you know what? One time,
gracias.
I went to Cuba with my girl. For like we went for whatever vacation for a week, and so you do say all the things, and then we got back to the airport, and my mind was still like when we got back to Toronto, my mind was still like in Cuba, and I
Canadian people
at like the Tim Hortons at the Pearson, but like it was like a brown girl. And I go gracias, and I go.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we have a huge gender win because 2023.
Big win for the ladies.
Big win.
2022 might just. We didn't even do a recap because I'll tell you who won 2022.
Okay.
Women.
Women won.
Women won.
Oh, yeah.
Women, you won. You won.
Women won 2022, especially right now. Greta
Women
Thunberg
rule.
taking down Andrew Tate.
I didn't even want to get into it because the whole thing was lame, but you're
I
like,
know.
her whole thing was legitimately. Our boy Siraj actually posted below it, so I was like, I'm not even going to say it. But it really was the you eat pieces of shit for breakfast. It totally was like, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And you're like, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast? Like, that's what it was.
Obviously, it's a little bit funny because it's just unexpected from her.
Of course.
For her to have a salty comeback. But
totally.
he's feeling the burn.
He is feeling the burn. Even though he had like 100 million impressions on his tweet. So
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
feeling
he's-
that
he's-
good about
yeah,
that.
He
burn.
ain't mad about it.
But the honestly, obviously, everyone's souping it up like it was funnier than it was because they're.
Because they don't like Andrew Tate.
Well, but also, yeah, it was just like, oh, this is our big like thing where he got pwned. But like, I will agree. Obviously, the minute everyone said it's like the funniest thing in the world, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's not that funny. But like, at the first when I first saw it, I was like, a little bit funny.
Yeah.
But so. This Vice is back to their journalism. They go, we met an all-women flogging squad in Indonesia.
Shout out to the floggers.
Shout out to
bloggers
the floggers.
bloggers on floggers. This is bloggers on floggers.
Bloggers on floggers on floggers on bloggers.
Floggers.
That's the new Mijos song. How do you say it?
Migos? Mijos? Migos.
I was saying that podcasting clips on TikTok is 90% people, one person saying a word one way and then the other person saying, it's all cute moments. That's all
Yeah,
TikTok is cute moments.
Cute, a lot of cute.
I said to our team, I go, no cute moments. We don't do cute
We
moments.
want the edgy shit. Floggers. Women flogging.
Go look at TikTok and tell me it's not all cute moments. How do you say that word like that? How do you say it? What?
Yeah, well, because everything else gets deleted.
That's possible too, yeah.
Anything that's not cute gets deleted.
But there was a big win. So this woman, and she, and people told her growing up that flogging's a man's job, that you can't be
it's
a flogger.
man's world.
But Daddy, I want to be a flogger. You'll never be a flogger.
No, the best you'll ever get is being flogged or making the sticks.
In a perfect world where you could flog, but this ain't that world. So you get out there. So do you want me to go to school for something else? You can't go to school either.
They kind of have sick uniforms, the floggers.
What do the uniforms look like?
Well, it's like a brown burqa, but it's a burqa, but it's brown, but then it has this like little like reverse raccoon.
And it says
white
stick
stripe.
life on the
Stick
back.
life. You think they're like fucking, if you ever watch like warm up for like a Leafs game and they're all just on the ice, they're like really getting the flex on there just to make sure that they don't snap. This is a very Canadian episode, but they're like just really testing out that stick. Do you think they're like that? Like they get a bunch of new twigs and they call them
They're all-
twigs. They're like, oh, fucking, what twig you working with there? Oh, CCM. And they're like, oh, yeah.
That's so funny. They got a CCM flogging stick.
Fucking, is that Bauer?
They got a
Oh,
flogging
shit. You got the vapor?
the vapor, the fucking titanium flogging sponsorship. Someone come in. Yeah, the floggers dressed in like all Nike and CCM, like just sponsored head to toe for flogging. That
flogger
would
in
be
the
what
world.
happens though. None of the other guy floggers. The one female flogger. Here's the question: you think the female flogger gets paid less than the guy floggers?
Nah, probably. I don't know. Maybe. You think the top, like the way they measure it too, is like for your flogging is like they take your shirt off afterwards and like it just looks like you got hit once.
That's a perfect
That's
flog.
a perfect flog. You're like, I hit him 45 times, same spot.
That's a perfect flog.
Yeah, it's just like one
One
fucking red
strip. That's a pro.
Oh, that's the flogger of the year. Right
You know,
there.
well, they make it seem like it's a really big deal to be a flogger, and they did this profile on this girl. But you definitely, if you are flogging, it would be amazing if they finally had this big win for women get to be floggers,
Yeah.
and then the girl comes in, botches the first flog, the stick goes flying,
hits the chick in the head.
knocks her out. Her first flog,
She just like hits her in the head. She's like, ow! What the fuck?
botching your first flog. Her dad's there in the thing,
She
it's a
did say she was
big
nervous.
proud
She was
moment.
shaking the first
She was shaking with the flogs. Girl floggers only flog the other girl people
Yeah.
too, so that's the reason they said they were one of the reasons that they said it wasn't actually. They're sort of spinning it here like it's a win for women a little bit, but really what happened is the girls were getting hurt too bad because the
guys just heard too, and like
the guy floggers weren't taking it easy.
Well, they just know how to hit like guys, and so they just hit hard.
So they basically said, let's get a girl flogger in for the girls so they won't hurt him as
Do you
much.
think trans women will be allowed to flog biological?
Oh, buddy, if you get a trans guy in there being a girl flogger, well, Well, also if you were,
That's the scandal that's in fucking Banda Aceh.
well, I think that if you had the girl floggers flogging the guys too, I feel like there'd be a lot of perverts that would like that. You know what I mean? Like a guy, there'd just be like half the city coming. No, not half, but like every pervert in the city coming in, stole some bread again.
I'm also gay. I'm gay and I stole bread.
Oh yeah, also just banged a chick, not my wife.
No,
Just got so much pussy last night. Flog me.
doesn't even need to
Hey,
be.
hey.
If you're literally with a woman that's not your wife in private, it's a floggable offense.
Yeah, but if it's a girl flogger, they might like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like part of your process. Like you bang a girl and you're just like, you know what? Before we bang again, I'm gonna pop out there and
go commit some crimes.
Yeah, I know. You come out in there and you go, just so you know, I got a girl in the room. If you want to, I'm about to commit. If you want to give me some preemptive flogging, and then he just goes back so hard that he got his flogs on.
Get the flogging.
There's got to be a couple gay guys that sort of like the flogging.
Well, this is Sharia law, so I think like, being gay is.
No, but they're in the closet. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I used to talk about this on
you're back
stage.
again?
Yeah, but think about that. If you're gay and then they sentence you, you go, "Oh yeah, I was doing like a dominatrix thing with another guy," and they go, "That's a lot of flogs," and you go, "Let's go, let's go."
Do the crime, you do the time.
Oh, we caught you blowing a dude, and then it's like, what's the punishment? It's like you get spanked in the town square by another guy.
Oh, everybody watches, and you're like, oh.
Then you're
It's crazy that these are like wild spectator.
Let's go.
These are wild spectator events too. This isn't like a
I know.
behind closed door. It's like everybody shows up.
I think what happens
It's
though.
like how they used to like behead, back in like hundreds of years ago. Like just the beheading was a.
I know, but I guess what happens is it's like dads bringing their kids and stuff, being like, just so you know, this is what happens.
Yeah,
No, I don't think
this
they're
is what
going.
you get for talking to a woman.
Yeah. That stinks, man.
It is wild to think too. Like hundreds of years ago, like it was pretty regular for a child to just have seen 10 people beheaded, like normal.
Yeah.
There was
for
no
sure.
TV, I guess.
I know.
Just like, hey, we're gonna go watch a beheading on a Friday night.
There was that other show that everyone recommended that I watched a couple episodes too. Yellowstone's a big topic among the community.
Yeah,
People
Yellowstone.
really like it.
I know Yellowstone's big. I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah.
It's just super based. Right?
The problem is you watch that with a chick and then now she has a fucking thing for cowboys.
Oh.
Everything you watch. Have you ever watched like you ever watch like a docu or like a movie or like a series, like you finish The Wire and all of a sudden you're like, I could deal with a hood chick. Like you start being into it. I'm telling you, dude. You watch Yellowstone with your girl, you're gonna finish it off. She'll be buying you a cowboy hat and be like, you're a bit of a cowboy. And then you're gonna have to explain to her like, well, comedians are actually the cowboys. If you think
We're the cowboys. We're the cultural cowboys, and we're fighting in the cultural Wild West right now. So
your chick,
grab my spurs and my saddle, and let's get to the canceling.
your chick's like, yeah, cowboys are pretty hot. And you're like, well, I've got news for you.
Some people consider me a cowboy in the podcasting world.
Some people consider comedians actually cowboys. It's sort of a cowboy life if you think about it.
Yeah, we're on the frontier of culture.
The cowboys of culture.
I honestly don't watch anything with my girlfriend anymore. It's pretty good system.
That's an okay system.
Yeah.
Okay. They said, so this is a real line in the thing, and I didn't do it in order because I picked out my favorite lines of this thing, but this is a real line. They go, she's aware that she holds a special position in a male-dominated field. The way that they talk about it's killing me.
Yeah, considering you're like, you live in under Sharia law.
Yeah.
Like strict Sharia law. Like, no shit.
But doesn't know whether it'll inspire other women to follow suit. They're not sure if
Like, they still have to do their, like, representation matters bullshit.
That's
like,
what's killing me about this article.
Run that through here.
They have to run their representation bullshit through this article about people getting flogged for adultery.
Not even adultery. It's straight up just like, I talk to a woman in private.
And a lot of them too, it's probably like word against word, right? Like a lot of them is not like you're on camera doing this, and it's just a guy being like banged her.
For sure. And then it's like they talk about it later in the article, but like legitimately instances where it's like some woman was like, raped by some guy, and then she's like, she gets 200 flogs and he
Totally,
gets 10.
it's
Like,
insane,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, the worst part is if you lied about banging a chick, like you were telling the boys, you're like, yeah, I took that one for a spin, and everyone's like, nice, and then the next day she's getting flogged.
And you're like, no, I was lying. I was just trying to impress the boys. And they go, that's actually more flogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's dishonoring.
But yeah, legitimately, that's what happens. Is like some guy just lies, says he took her for a spin, and then they're like, "Oh, crazy! Like, what's her name again?" We go, well, ladies and gentlemen, we got one.
I mean, that is
Right
the ultimate. Like, you could get chicks in so much trouble there.
Yeah, of course. Maybe the bigger lesson for them is to watch the flogging, to not do anything that's forbidden, she said. So when they asked her about all this representation stuff, she goes, yeah, I don't know about all that.
Well, she's trying to just be like, don't kill the messenger over here. Like, I'm just...
Yeah, they go to this girl. Well, the flogger is like for the cause, by the way.
Yeah,
She's not like a reluctant
Islam.
flogger.
No,
Yeah, she's like
no.
hardcore. She's not... That's Vice would make their... Like, if they made like a Hollywood movie about the flogger that knew she didn't want to be a flogger, but she's the best in the game. She's just too
Nobody
good.
else could flog these women like her.
She's like, you know what? Maybe my flogging days are done. She's like, you got a gift. No one can flog like you.
Nobody.
There's nobody in the world that can flog like you. And she goes, I don't want to flog anymore. I just want to cook pies.
I wonder if it breaks skin.
I just want to go back to the market and cook pies.
Is it like a caning?
It's sort of like a caney situation.
But
I think,
like, is
yeah.
it breaking skin?
I think that sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm not really the flogging expert. But they asked the girl what she thinks, and she was just like, so is this maybe other girls are going to do this job in this male-dominated field? You're going to inspire them? And she's like, I don't know about all that stuff, but probably if you kiss a guy, this is what you get. Like, that was her response.
Well, yeah, if you look at a guy wrong.
They were like, do you mind saying that it might inspire them? That's sort of the headline we're hoping for.
Can we say that, though? Can we just say you said that?
We're
She's like,
kind
I don't know.
of, that's the angle that we're sort of hoping for. And she was like, yeah, but if you do, I'll get flogged. So please don't.
She's just sharpening her fucking...
Yeah, she's all for it, right? From clothing restrictions to banning women to sit on motorcycles to intermingling of opposite sexes, playing live music and drinking. So all these things are flog worthy. Yeah. Which I guess obviously a lot of the stuff is very bad, but is it so wrong to flog people who pulled out a guitar at a party?
No, I'm so on board with that. I was walking.
Clothing offenses, like man shows up with no shoes and socks at a fucking real world event.
I was in walking on McDougal Street like maybe a couple weeks ago, and one of those places near the cellar. You know how they have like the whatever, like you can go inside, but it's like on the street, like those temporary structures, like one of those cafes, and they're covered. And there was a guy inside with all his friends that brought the guitar. Like, imagine you're like in one of these enclosed things, and there's just a guy playing shitty acoustic guitar. I was like, that guy should
flog him. Exactly. Showing up with. You don't wear a shirt at like a function because you're a party guy.
I guess that band Flogging Molly will never get booked.
Showing up to the wedding with like oversized suit, beer hat on, flogged.
Yeah, those big ass suits. Flogged.
Anyone who wears the outfit where you wear the dress pants but they don't go down that far, and then you wear the loafers with no socks, flogged.
Do you think they have the Jasper meme in?
What's the Jasper meme?
That's a paddling, but it's but they like make it for Indonesia for that's a flogging. Remember for Simpsons? That's a paddling.
Yeah.
They have that's a flogging.
I think it's like very flog life with her. Yeah.
She just dreams of flogging all day.
The idea of inducting a woman flogger, honestly, I'm tearing up just thinking about this.
Good for them.
They have the music playing. Like, I hope that they make that movie where it's just like
they probably will. There, it's like government propaganda.
Yeah, she's just like, that's their feminism. According to Mohammed Rizal, the head of Akai Sharia police, the reason for flogging is to tackle crime, but activists don't agree. And that's one of the things they said, because they were, a lot of the people that are like against this, their argument, which is, I always find, sometimes you agree with people, but their arguments are bad. Even their arguments against flogging, they're saying it doesn't stop crime. And it was like, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Like just anything. It's like,
the problem
stricter
is
jail sentences stop crime. If you say we're going to flog you in the town square, I'm sure it does stop this stuff a little bit, but it's still like crazy.
Well, it's just, yeah, exactly. You're like, is it
if you murder people, if they shoplift, it'll stop shoplifting, but it's probably not a good way to.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to, that's maybe not the funnest way to live it. Then, yeah.
I mean, I guess the problem is you're like, your definitions of crimes are, everything's a crime there.
A female flogger is placed there to punish a woman because a male flogging's delivery is too harsh, which I disagree. I think girls can flog just as good as men.
Of course, men and women, there's no difference between them.
I don't even think there's any difference in physical strength or
at
flogging
all. They
ability.
flog the same. If anything, women are just taking it too easy, which is why.
Do you think the girls that are like low-key like feminists are sort of like souping up how much it hurts to like, it's worse than the man?
Yeah.
Like one of the regulars is trying to.
I think you fail the flogger test though as a woman if they go, are men and women the same? If you go yes, you go, yeah, that's the wrong answer.
Ouch! Ow!
You gotta really.
It reminds me of when I used to get sort of like hit by my mom when I was young,
Yeah.
and I remember specifically like, "Ow! Wow, that's smart." It was like nothing, you know what I mean? It was like don't care, just souping it up. Oh wow! Ow! Wow!
Oh.
I won't be doing that again.
No.
The act of flogging doesn't faze her either. That's we already went through that. Mistakes are rarely tolerated and they can result in expulsion from the post. So it is what you said. Like it's a high ticket job.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like you have to. They say it has to be just the top of the back. It's like it's probably like that big of a.
That is, if you get a bad flogger, it probably hurts way more because they're flogging all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, if you get hit in like the neck, that would kill. It's like a
Although
fucking
after you
bamboo.
start getting like flog number 30, you probably want them to hit anywhere but the spot that you've been flogged a bunch.
Yeah, well,
It
that's
starts to get
what makes them
sensitive.
such a good flogger.
And, right. They said the rights groups are calling flogging a cruel and degrading treatment. It's just like, duh.
Yeah,
That's like where they're at right there. You know what I mean? It's like, we think this might be cruel.
Vice. Yeah, thanks, Vice.
Yeah, duh. And the optics of
Not as cruel as misgendering somebody though.
the optics of inducting women floggers is a matter of pride for the Sharia police. So it's a big point of pride. I think it is one of those things where you come home and your parents are just like, "Did you hear that Stacey's a flogger?
First
now?"
female flogger.
Yeah.
in
What are you
Indonesia.
doing?
What are you doing? with
Stacey's
your
been
life?
flogging. You're not flogging? Official data shared by Sharia police with Vice World News, crimes against humanity, such as, so they basically unmarried men and women caught together, blah, blah, and they have another thing. But they said it had a steep drop. So this is where activists are wrong because it's like, yes, obviously it does. But your argument shouldn't be that it doesn't work.
Yeah, if the stats are down, be like, well, why are the stats wrong?
And they're probably like, it's probably the stats are down because people stopped, they stopped doing crimes just because they're celebrating women in flogging positions.
too busy at the parades.
Yeah, but I do think the flogging for sex crimes is a little weird because there's got to be a few pervs that get flogged for sex crimes.
Yeah,
and they're
but
just
I
happy
get
about it.
Yeah, but then if you're too happy about it, then they probably death penalty you.
Sure. A special sponsor that is coming on to the podcast. You know him from the videos. Sheath Underwear. We got to hang out a bunch when we were at Skankfest.
yeah.
Now, this is a good friend of comedy. This is a good friend of podcasting. This is a man who was a veteran, started a company. The company's crushing it right now. The best.
Honestly, some of the best underwear.
The best underwear you will ever see in your life. And also makes the package look pretty good because
Yeah.
it pushes it out. So if you're popping around the house, there's a girl there. It's got a pouch for the balls.
For the balls.
Sheath Underwear is the first piece of underwear that comes. You know, he came back with this idea, started this company, comedy friend.
Yeah.
And
Friend of the
one of
arts.
my friends too. So I rep this company
Yeah.
through and through. I would say 90% of my boxers right now, boxer
too.
briefs right now.
And I'll
are
tell you
Sheath.
what, I have a bunch of sheath underwear, and then I have like
Great elastic, great material.
A couple of years ago, I went and bought some like Lululemon underwear because
Couldn't go back.
No, my friend was like, "Oh, they're the best. They're shit," and they
No,
were like
they're-
$35 a pair or something, and they're like crap.
Yeah,
they're
they're
all
nuts.
falling apart. They're garbage.
No, so Sheath Underwear, you get 20% off when you go use the promo code BOYSCAST. I'm wearing them right now. I got them on. I would say 90% of the time you see me, just because I have a few other ones kicking out, but
Yeah.
those ones are probably on their way out.
Yeah, they're on their way
The
out,
water
for
bottle and the thing, which we probably haven't talked about, but later in the episode it does come up. It's the only underwear I own.
It's a call forward.
Yes, the moisture wicking technology. Now, they got the dual pouches. Keep your parts separated. The big thing I like them for is running. You don't got the balls slapping all around.
No.
You probably like that ball
I
slapping
don't
on
have.
your leg.
I don't have the giant ball problem. I have regular.
You
balls.
sort of like balls slapping on your leg.
I pretend like they're someone else's. Pretend I'm like at the bathhouse.
You just have balls slapping on your leg and you pretend there's someone else's
The
balls.
stranger. It's a more advanced version of the stranger.
It's a more advanced. Yeah, you just got balls slapping on your leg. Well, if you don't want balls slapping on your leg, you can just wear them like a regular pair of underwear if you don't want to do that, but you probably will. Most comfortable pair of boxer brief you've ever worn. Pop on over. 20% off. Sheathunderwear.com. Promo code BOYSCAST. get it right now. So in accordance with what you've been saying is that 2022 was the
Year of the woman.
year of the woman they won. Do you think that 2023 is the year of the man?
No. Absolutely not.
No, you think it's do you
More year of the woman.
do you don't think it turned a little bit where people hate men a little less? I guess it gets devised, but what do you think?
No.
Yeah, see, I kind of I do a little bit think that most normal people, they don't think, as much nonsense as they did 2 years ago. I have so many friends, male and female, that have been like, yeah, you were kind of right about this and that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why we're cowboys. We're on the frontier of this stuff.
Exactly.
We are.
Essentially, right?
Yeah, we were trying to tell you.
No, she goes, no, I would say bikers are more like the cowboys. I go, definitely comedians, then bikers, for sure. They're top three. Definitely top three.
Cyclists.
Specifically. Yeah. Well, anyways, there's this study that, we've talked about this a bit, but it goes, men are dropping out of the labor force because they're upset about their social status, according to the new study. And it kind of goes through everything. And one of the big ones is the dudes that didn't go to college, because there's a big debate about like whether you should go to college or not, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things is, which is obvious, but basically, if you're a guy and you're like, okay, I can go work 40 hours, but no one really thinks it's like that good of a job. Chicks don't really see it as that cool. Like there's no benefits of just kind of like having a normal steady, and then you look like you're lower. You're just like, well, why would I do that? I can be low and not have a job.
Yeah, it's the incentive structure for sure.
Which I so get, because if I feel like that with myself, if your options are like work in a factory and then the social status is everything, right?
Of course.
That's why when people say relativism, when you talk about like, let's say another place, which I always kind of disagree with, when like the argument where they go, yeah, well, you think that you don't have money, you live in like the best time ever compared to other people that don't eat, and it was like, well, yeah, but I'm not around them. Like obviously the people you're around, it's the same thing as like if you're middle class and your parents force you to grow up in like the super richest area where everyone's like billionaires, you actually feel way worse than if you grew up around like people that have the same money as you kind of thing,
of course.
right?
I mean, that's what everybody's always comparing themselves to everybody else. So that's just
that around them.
Yeah.
But then, the internet makes it like you're only comparing yourself to someone said this, a good way to describe it, you're only comparing yourself to people's best day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everyone's just posting
Yeah,
their best day.
Their best things for sure.
So you're comparing your normal life to everyone's best day or their best that part's obvious. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder about this because like I read this and I was like, so what do these people do though?
Well,
like how do they support? How do they eat?
I mean, a lot of people probably have welfare. Maybe a lot of them just live with their parents. I mean, a lot of these guys are 28,
I know. Yeah,
right?
yeah. I know there's a lot of that where the highest amount of people live.
But think about that. If you were like living with your parents or whatever, why don't you get a new job and you're just like, and what? It doesn't even help anything. It's like, why don't I just like stay here and maybe I'll work like some super crappy part-time job for $200 a week and just play video games and do this or whatever. Like I actually do get that from an incentive structure. It's like not that irrational.
Yeah. Yeah. That's depressing, but.
Well, no, I don't know if the suggestion hits that, but one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot
we need a world war.
World war to sort of just shake things up a little bit.
Shake things up, get all these people.
Well, and then they're automating all the normal, like a lot of the normal jobs and stuff like that.
That's true.
But they're talking about McDonald's. They're just gonna have full people, like computers making the burgers. The whole.
I mean, they've already phased out like
half
cashiers.
Yeah,
cashiers.
But now they're gonna phase out the
gone.
burger makers too.
Yeah, I don't see why that can't be done.
Well, of course, right? So my thing was, if you even look in how much things have changed in 4 years, so you basically accept that the idea of I'm going to go do this and get this job and that, well, you know what I mean? Whatever thing you think exists probably won't in like at the very least 10 years, but maybe even sooner, right? So I think increasingly, if you're trying to win at anything, probably the most valuable skill moving forward into the next like 5 years will be like mobility, like people's ability to change course.
Sure.
So
I mean, that's always...
no, it hasn't always been. And it's not always exclusively now because...
You say mobility as in like physical mobility?
All of it.
All mobility.
I don't mean... Oh, yes.
No, I mean like your ability to go move somewhere.
Yeah, that would be
people don't
one.
want to do... The problem is...
Of course. No, but I'm saying though...
That's always...
No, but like... That's not always the case. If you have like a job where it's like there was a time where probably there was like a big payout in terms of your options, if you look at all the options for being the guy that could like put his nose to the grindstone, work at the same place for 30 years, work up that corporate ladder, and you're actually better off than trying to make all these moves and starting again. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that would be the extreme. And now there's all different versions of it. Like I even say, depending on what you're doing, like if you're working on, let's just say in our industry, if you're working on a movie, right? If you're working on a movie, there's a big benefit to having like a stable structure of like, I wake up because I'm doing the same thing for every day.
Yeah.
But if you're working on all different things or like in social media realm, like you want to be able to change on a dime of like, you know what, I'm going to cancel everything. I got to go do this. Like you want to be.
For sure.
Okay. So
100%.
agility, mobility.
Agility, yeah.
But
Philosophy.
a lot of that's just mental in the sense that like, just a lot of it's just your like thought patterns where it's like, even if you have a family or whatever, it's like, if you like structure your life a little bit where you're like, you know what, I could change jobs. I have kind of two skills that I could do this, I could do that. Like the ability, imagine you were a guy that was like a landscaper that built fences sort of thing, but you also were like, did a bit of graphic design. Like you could literally look at the industry and your freelanceness could like change depending on which one's doing better,
and you'd
right?
find a set, and you'd find like
That's maybe a stupid example.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think that whether people can or can't do it, I think bottom line is the amount that you are able to do it will depend on your personality a lot. But I think personalities and companies, entrepreneurs, people, like most people right now that work in like sort of tech, I know people that work in tech and the ones that make the most money, even like at lower levels, they were like young in their 20s. The ones that have like been the most successful were the ones that were willing to like go change jobs and get a new one.
For sure.
See a company sort of moving and then you go, okay, you know what? I think this industry's sort of dying out, being willing to make a big change. So I think agility increasingly will be,
and that's risk taking too, because that is a risky.
It's a risky thing. So,
yeah.
But all the things are a percentage. Like you might not be naturally that, but it's like this thing where someone might not naturally be good at networking, and there's all that. I think it was a comedian that said this. He was like, "Oh, I'm not good at networking." It's like, well, get good at it because it's important.
Yeah, of course.
You might not be the best at it, but you can always be like pretty good at it. So that's my prediction.
And you can pretty much get good at anything now if you just on YouTube.
Well, you can get average at anything
for sure.
Because a lot of the things are composite skills where you just need. If you're just average at it, then that's fine. You know.
Yeah, you're proficient.
You don't be below average at like your ability. Don't be like the least flexible person. Mm-hmm. Because then whenever you're inflexible, opportunities will come and go, and then you won't be able to take them because you're too inflexible. So I think the ability to design your life somewhat with the ability to have at least a couple flexible changes, whether that be anything, I think will be the increasingly separates the people that end up like where they're 45 and their life ended up pretty good, and 45 and their life ended up where it's like it seems like it's fucking them.
Yeah, or just do something that is not in that realm. Just go be an electrician. My friend we went to Guelph with just became an master electrician. Even he was like went to business school.
Well, if you're gonna,
and then he's like,
he's
just he is now, but like he's just like they're never gonna not need that.
Yeah, but I think my theory still stands in those kind of things because you go, what if you are an electrician, you work for this company and you see that it's kind of going down and you're like, you know what,
electrocute the CEO.
The ability to be the guy that's like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna do a bit of this on my side to sort of hedge, like hedging bets here and there. Agileness, and also I guess you could sum up a bit of what I'm saying is half of like not putting all your eggs in certain baskets because baskets are straight up lottery tickets that are too. Okay, so that's my prediction. That's the only thing I was gonna say. That's my prediction moving forward for winners and losers. And what's your prediction for the economy? I was listening to a real estate podcast because me and you are real estate moguls, owning one small little property.
Yeah, sure. Something. My prediction for 2023.
They were basically saying like
it's gonna be shaky.
It's gonna be more shaky
volatility.
Yeah. So you think that things are getting
I mean, they
worse?
need to have a lot of. I mean, the shitty way this whole thing works is they're not going to stop raising the interest rates until lots of people start losing their jobs. In order to essentially reverse that, and then so people need to lose their jobs, which is kind of a fucked up way this whole system works.
Yeah.
In order for them to stop raising interest rates, I mean, they need to bring inflation down. I don't know. It
is also true that like as you're saying that though, think about how many like podcasts and all that stuff are coming out. I think we actually might have talked about this, but there's so many podcasts and business analysts and all that, whatever, people in that realm that are a big part of what they're saying is that companies need to fire more people. And it's like, if you're like a normal employee, you're just like, every time you turn on, they're like, you got to make cuts. And everyone's like, they're like, stop telling everyone to fire us.
I mean, I think a lot of people though, like Twitter is such a good example where they cut 3/4 of their works, like their employees.
Totally.
And they're fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that. If anything, it's better. they're like rolling out. They're like finally rolling out features and like quickly. You know, like they added 2 days ago. They go, you can now upload hour-long video on Twitter, like that. You know, you couldn't do that, and it took them getting rid of 3/4 of the people. Like Elon Musk, that he posted some video and he was like, "Here, look at our sweet." Their what's it called? Their coffee shop that they have in their office, and it was empty. There's nobody there, and he goes, "Yeah, because everybody's working."
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be everybody would just be hanging out drinking coffee all day. So the people who are like, "Yeah, don't say I'm like," you better do something of value. I mean, so many people at these big tech companies were like, "Yeah, I got hired on. I don't really do anything." So many of them were working at the other companies.
Well, think about all those people now. They need agility, so
they better.
Our predictions are moving in tandem.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
So you think that economy gets way worse? A lot of people get fired. Unemployment goes up. You have a sort of a stark prediction of the coming year.
I don't think
or
2023 is going to be a good year for the economy. It's too
anything.
soon to turn it. I mean, it's like a giant ship, you know. It moves to turn to do a U-turn on a giant ship.
You can crash it quickly, but you can't
crash it quickly.
Get it back on track.
But
quickly.
to get it have to do like a U-turn on a giant ship, it's slow.
Okay.
Slow process. Yeah.
Well, so then, so I was thinking, so if you take your prediction, which is macro, that you're fucked, and you take my prediction,
fucked,
which
bud.
is micro, but it's like, be agile. You got to be smooth like
I
a
mean,
ninja.
the thing is, there's so many amazing, there's so many amazing opportunities, like things you can still do. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not like bearish specifically on anything other than just like, the economy might suck.
Okay.
But I don't think we're going to have some depression level shit or anything of that sort.
Okay.
Maybe we'll luck out and get some sort of new pandemic.
Look out.
It was pretty good last time.
Yeah. Okay. So here's one that I wanted to talk about because it was bad advice that Slate's been giving people.
Yeah.
And sometimes I like to get out front of these and be like, no. Because guys, you know, these Weasley guys that are asking for advice from Slate, they're probably beyond repair.
Yeah.
But someone else, but other people might be having the same thing.
Who's asking Slate for advice?
A dweeb.
Fucking
a dork.
dweeb.
You know what I mean? Obviously. But this guy, he's been smashing Viagra as well. He's been banging his wife, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, cut to several years later, our sex lovemaking continues at high and wonderful levels, 5 to 7 times a week. So this guy's going.
I will
to
say props to them on the title. The title had a little zinger.
What was the title?
It goes, I've been keeping a little sexual secret from my wife for years, but I don't think I can keep it up.
Yeah, it's okay.
Something.
Not nothing.
Not nothing.
Here's the problem. It takes deception and planning. And if I told her that I don't do it when she asked me in the first thing, because basically at the beginning she goes, hey, did you take pills? He goes, I'm PEDs, man. I'm liver king.
How'd that dick get so hard? And you go,
yeah,
God's gift,
God's
baby.
gift. Yeah, I'm sorry that I was
God's
blessed.
plan.
God's plan. God's plan. I only love my dad and my mama. I was killing Colum on that because when he was in Toronto saying that something about Drake and he was like, I don't even know any Drake songs. I go, you do though. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, he was trying to play, you know how like the people.
This is too cool for.
No.
Drake lives here?
That's one of my
Drake's
pet
in
peeves when people pretend that they're too cool to know something.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, not that I don't like know Justin Bieber songs. I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, I've never
I'm that off the grid. You know what I mean? So I was like, and then I finally got him to admit that he knew like 3 or 4 of them.
Of course.
Yeah, all of a sudden he knew them.
I mean, there's certain people you just can't be alive, really.
That's
in
my
mainstream
point.
society and not.
You're just
come
so
across this
cool.
shit.
Yeah. Only not my bad, my mama. And I occasionally wonder if I'm on ethical thin ice. I started a stance that my medical prescriptions are nobody's business but my own. But several years into a relationship, is that valid? Should I feel guilty? My current plan is to gradually introduce it at some point and tell her about it. So you know this guy's got sort of a women-y like way of looking at life too, because that was how he rationalized to himself. He goes, "This is my medical business and no one needs it." Like that's a very like girl way to like.
I bet it
rationalize,
didn't
but-
help when like there's vaccine passports came out and the guy's like, probably his girlfriend's like into it, and then he's like,
Yeah, it's everyone's business.
everybody's business.
It's everybody's business who's taking V and who's not, right?
Yeah.
So then this is what they wrote back. At first they said, I don't think you should feel any guiltier than you do already, which he shouldn't feel guilty at all. Yes, you lied about it once for your pill popping, and perhaps your wife has continued to assume that your lie stands. But holding on to the assumption isn't exactly wise. The older a guy gets, the more likely he is to experience erectile dysfunction. Therefore, it shouldn't be at all surprised when someone goes from pill-free to using them. I'd introduce the topic by leaving a pill bottle lying around, maybe in the medicine cabinet. Let her notice and ask questions instead of running up to her with a confession that might be burdensome. So to me, this is the worst advice I've ever heard.
I mean, yeah, because the problem is the whole issue around this is that it's not even true, but women in their minds, they're like, oh, you don't find me attractive.
That's a part of it for sure.
For sure. They're like, oh, you take this because you don't find me attractive.
Yeah.
And you're like, you need fucking to take medicine to not cry during dinner. Like, how's it's like, this is not fair.
The also other side of that coin is I feel like if you're a dude that like needs to soup it up, her like poking around about, so are you taking it today? That's gonna like
for sure
get in your head and you'll have
like,
trouble getting it up again.
Yeah.
So you want her like out of this. You want to be completely in control. Control's a huge.
This is
part
literally
of
don't ask, don't tell. This is the military figured this out. Okay,
totally.
Don't ask, don't tell. Honestly, 90% of women's problems in a relationship is just due to them asking questions. Too many questions.
That's what I say.
Yeah. Too many questions.
Danny in Hoodville, Nanya.
Yeah, none your business.
Who's this person? Why you do this to yourself? Trying to make yourself have a bad night?
I'm not. Yeah, totally. Because we're having such a bad night now because you just couldn't fucking not ask all these questions.
Yeah, because you and your questions, you always try to ruin your own night, don't you?
Like, obviously, there's certain things you can ask questions about, but like the general nosiness of women, where it's like you're just too many questions.
Well, there's. So
I think women would win more fucking game shows with the amount of fucking questions they're constantly asking.
Well, so the first part is that it's like once you lose control, but this most important part that this person's not even asking is like you kind of brushed on it, but you go, how nosy is your girlfriend? If you have a girl that's very nosy, like, do you have a girl that will kind of be like, okay, and then never bring it up again? Or do you have a girl that's gonna for the next like rest of your life being like, so it's night now Viagra, so when do you take it? How often do you take it? It's like that will be a nightmare that's gonna screw your whole thing up.
Oh, for sure.
Now you're gonna need it because before you have sex with her, you're gonna be like bringing her down. And she goes, so is that, it was very good. Is that because of the pill? Like,
of course. It wasn't because of me, huh? I did something new. Was that good or was that the pill? I don't know.
Yeah. So is that the type of girl you're dating, or does she have sort of a level of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowledge of how the male anatomy sort of works, or is she going to be the type of girl that's just like nonstop badgering you?
Or just take the fucking souped up D and enjoy it. Like you can't just enjoy the souped up D for a minute.
Exactly. The PED, no pun intended.
Yeah, just like take it and just be like, this is great. You should be thanking Pfizer and science that they developed such an amazing thing.
While she's crying in bed, you're giving her this speech.
He goes, I'm not enough for you. And I go, honey, trust the science. Trust the science.
Nah, the truth is, if you're taking it every now and then, you never need to tell her unless you can bring it up in a. I've definitely dated girls where it's like kind of jokey.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I always turn it around. You go, I don't know if it's your good. Like you have to say, you'd be like, I don't know if you're good tonight. Maybe I take the pill. I don't know. We'll see if you deserve it. Like I've actually done that where I bring the pill out. I go, I don't know. We haven't decided whether we're going to bring it into the equation if you deserve it or not. But if you have that kind of relationship where you could sort of joke around about it and it's not going to make things weird. Yeah. But I'd say most girls, yes, if you have any sort of that thing, and it sounds like this guy has got no hand probably.
Yeah, this guy's fine.
So you go, you're way better off removing this from the equation.
This guy only has one option as far as I'm concerned.
I would say don't tell her.
No, you have one option. It's like you wait till you're 50 and be like, I guess I need these now.
Even then, though, it depends on the girl.
Well, but if she's so cooked you're like, you're 50, you're like, I'm 50 now. Like
you're 90 years old. You're like bone. You're like natural.
Yeah. He goes, honey, I'm 90. For my 90th birthday, I think I'm going to take a Viagra for the first time. And she's like, you don't find me sexy anymore, do you? Oh, Jesus.
I knew it.
I knew it all these years. I'm going to live with the great grandchildren. I don't love you anymore. And you're like, oh, God.
I'm not enough. You're right.
Just some chicks are fucking hardwired like that.
Especially as you get older, because she's going to think that's her too.
Yeah, she goes, what, am I not attractive anymore? And you go, like, not really, but if I could just take this fucking pill, then we could meet in the middle here. God.
You don't find me hot, Charles.
You're stepping on your breast.
That's you don't.
And you have to be like, no, I actually like that.
No,
It's
I
not.
think anything, you're hotter now, honey. I'm gross, but I just need for the blood flow.
I the Viagra's because I gross myself out and I lose my bone when I see myself in the mirror. But the other part is there is just like when dynamics. It's like you can't show. Depends. Some guys have girls that'll like bring this up in an argument and be like, you can't even get hard. There's
Of course.
Also, the other thing, there's so many factors.
I mean, it's like some girls
can't
are so
show
crazy.
weakness
They'll be
like that.
Yeah, they'll be like, you can't even get hard, and then you're like, okay, so I'll take Viagra. It's like you need Viagra to get hard. And you're like,
yeah, there's the
"All right."
other side of it where it's like you might have the bitchy girl that you're with. It's like, oh, so fucking this limp ass dick bitch.
Yeah.
Telling all your friends, like she's telling all her friends. You know what I mean? That's the other thing is she's gonna gossip with all her friends. Now
Starts
you
a
walk into
podcast.
Whoa, now she starts a sex and dating podcast. Now you know, yeah, you're going out with her friends and her husbands, and you know that she's told everyone. Of
course.
You're with your in-laws. The dad's looking at you like, look at this limp ass bitch. Like,
No dick working motherfucker.
and you can't explain to the in-laws like, no, it's actually not even that big a deal. I just tried to soup it up for a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get a little extra juice.
I was doing it for her.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little extra juice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Try to do one nice thing for a lady.
No, you never show weakness. Never tell her.
No, never tell her.
Unless you completely have control of your situation and you're dating someone that's not like a fucking doesn't take low blows or use anything against you or
Oh, so
isn't-
you're what, dating a man, Ryan? What is this, advice for gay men?
I've dated those people.
Gay
Guys.
men?
Yeah,
Oh,
gay men.
I was going to say.
So yeah, or the person that doesn't. Yeah, if you're dating the person that's not the low blow person, not insecure, not anything.
Not existing in reality. None of those things. This is fucking Matrix shit right here. Yeah, go throw on your Oculus and go
Right.
find the perfect woman.
Red Pill Danny's out here. Red Pill Danny goes, he's like, I'm going to teach you how to find the perfect woman. And there's only one way to do it. Throw your fucking Oculus on.
Because she doesn't exist. Boom.
Click. End of lesson. Send me money.
Yeah, take the blue pill, throw the Oculus on.
Yo, that's the ultimate red pill is the blue pill. You turn the Oculus
Blue
on.
pill and the Oculus is the red pill.
The ultimate red pill is you have to do the blue pill and put the live in the simulation.
Tell you, it doesn't sound like the worst idea.
What was the call? Okay, Danny, you were telling me about this before we were recording when we were hanging out. That
George Santos?
Yeah, so Danny told me about this thing. Speaking of lies, that guys tell.
Oh,
There's
buddy. So U.S. Representative-elect George Santos, he's nominated for he won. He's going to be a congressman for like the Bronx or something. And then turns out he lied about absolutely everything.
Yeah,
Like he said he worked at Goldman Sachs.
this guy's man of the year.
This guy's man of the
love
year.
him.
Yeah, he's gay, so he's like Superman of the year. He's said he was Jewish, but then they're like, you're Catholic, and he goes, no, I was Jewish.
Yeah, he did that.
He
He was
literally
Jewish.
did that thing, like the Kanye thing, basically. He's just like, I'm Jew.
And they can't kick him out. So
He's been elected.
He lied about like what he did. He lied about his mom being in
He
9/11.
He said tweeted on Twitter. He said his mom died in the South Tower on 9/11, and then he tweeted like 5 years ago, or tweeted recently, being like, my mom died 5 years ago of cancer.
Those are always funny when people lie, like my mom died, and then like they get popular, and the mom comes out being like, "No, I didn't."
Yeah, you're like, no, I didn't. She did die, but 5 years ago. He like said he worked at Goldman Sachs and Citibank. They're like no record of him ever working here.
Wow.
Then he said that he
Pathological.
pathological. He said he went to this college, Baruch College in New York. They're like, he's never gone here.
So what did he do? Has it come out?
Nobody knows. He went on fucking Fox last night. Tulsi Gabbard, I guess she's maybe sitting in or she has a show there. She interviewed him and she's like, can you explain yourself? And he goes, look, we don't have enough time. And like,
By the way, Tulsi Gabbard is a Fox News show now.
I don't know if she's just a temporary host or
Was that, do you think, all part of her big plan when she was like, I'm not a Democrat anymore?
yeah,
blah,
she's
blah,
like,
and
and then maybe.
2 months later, she's a Fox News
Well,
show.
I mean, when fucking Hillary Clinton called her a Russian asset, probably that was it for any show on like MSNBC.
For sure.
Yeah, so they're the only ones that'll probably take her. But anyways, and he was like, it was pretty condescending. He's like, look, my constituents, like, I couldn't explain to them how this is true. And she's like, really? Like, what, you think they're so stupid? Like they couldn't understand how you could have worked at Goldman Sachs when they say you didn't. And he's like, well, I have. He was just literally like just talking shit.
He's still spinning the yarn.
Oh, he's so like caught in this insane lie, and the thing is, they can't. Apparently, they're opening some.
That's his excuse. He went on the TV interview to clear his name, and he was like, "Listen, I'd tell you, but you wouldn't be able to understand."
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to understand.
Complicated.
It's too complicated, like capital markets, and he's just accusing. He literally said that. He's like, working in this stuff, and he goes like, he's trying to say like, oh, I worked with Goldman Sachs, but you're like, you never said that. Your resume said you worked for Goldman Sachs.
Sure.
And they're like, we've never.
What does with them even mean?
I guess I don't know. He took a phone call. I don't know.
I was trading with them. Yeah.
I don't know, but nobody. The whole thing is like insane, lied about everything, but they can't, I guess, boot him out. Like he has to. They're figuring out a way to get rid of him, but he has to take his seat. That was like the guy in Toronto, actually.
What?
Who he won? He became an MP, and remember he had that Me Too, but it got thrown out.
Yeah. Well, how does that relate?
Well, because they were all trying to kick him out, and he's like, because he had got elected, and then they found out about this after the election.
Is he still in the mix?
I think so, and he's just like, I ain't going anywhere. Sorry, like.
Well, that guy Peter Brown, who was a big guy that got Me Too, now he's just like
Brown.
the mayor, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Brown. He was almost. That's how Doug Ford became the premier of Ontario.
Yeah, we're talking about that bullshit too much.
Yeah. Anyways, but he got it. But anyways, yeah, this guy's fucking. He's going down with it.
I love him.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, this guy
He's
kicks
just
ass,
like,
dude.
He's like.
What do you think his
pathological.
story is? What do you think actually did happen? Like he was just. How does
He goes like, hey,
how does no one that knows him being like, yeah, that guy worked with me?
I think he was
at
born
Target.
in a different country.
Oh,
I think he was born in. I think he was born in a different country.
so that's what allowed.
And
him
he's a
to-
Republican too, so everybody's like, why isn't the Republican Party not
denouncing him or
denouncing
something?
him?
Why
And
aren't they?
Because they're just like, he's just one of us. Like he's still. What? And the alternative is what? So the liberal,
what's the
like
alternative?
the Democrat gets in. That's worse
For
them. So they're like, he was born. His parents were
maybe
born.
it saves some face.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
even his. I'm looking at his Wikipedia, and even says here like his parents were born in Brazil, and he has claimed to have dual citizenship. So like they don't even know,
They don't even know if he's a citizen.
or if he was born in what. I guess you can become part of the House of Representatives without.
So this guy kicks ass.
Yeah, and like he
Do you
said,
think, but do you think he was like a pimp, or do you think this guy just like straight up was working on
No,
a
he's a pal-
resort?
no, he's
and
a-
just like he lied his way into like some, you know what I mean? He lied his way into dating some girl or guy, I guess, then lied his way onto like a yacht that took him to America, and then just like started.
oh,
this-
that's another thing too. He in 2008,
Some Catch Me If You Can stuff.
Dude, it's funny that you say "Catch Me If You Can." So in 2008, it says here he confessed. I forgot about this. He confessed to check fraud charges in Brazil, but did not appear in court. And then now he's like denying any of this stuff, being like, "No, that never happened." But in Brazil, they're like, "No, we have records."
yeah,
of this.
he definitely happened.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, it never happened." So he's like, "You say "Catch Me If You Can," literal check fraud.
So this guy's a straight up con artist.
Yeah, but he like conned his way into Congress.
You shouldn't con your way into public office if you're trying to be a con man. You want a lower profile. That's where you screwed up.
Or it's like you're in such plain view that nobody like.
That's another thing. However, I think they dig into Congress people.
Yeah,
pretty
but
good
I
right
guess
now.
he technically hasn't done anything that precludes him from getting like.
Because it's not legal to lie.
No, it's like I think he's like, well, you should have checked into this stuff before you elected me.
guess
I don't know what to
screwed
tell
up
you.
then. Yeah.
He basically is like, look, everybody embellishes their resume. That's what
That's what he said?
That's his actual defense. He was like, everybody embellishes, and they're like, you didn't embellish anything, you just lied. And he's like, no,
you've
these
never
are-
souped the resume up a little bit.
Never souped it up.
He's
a
like, you
little
said
bit."
you were the king of Belarus. I'm the only guy on this panel who lied a little on the resume.
Yeah, his Wikipedia is getting absolutely torn up though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
I want this guy on the podcast. Well, you need him to admit a few more stuff because right now he's just going down with the lie.
well, he's going fully with the lie. He's just straight up saying like
He's the guy that got booked
sugarcoating
cheating
it.
on. He's Shaggy right now with fucking.
Oh, worse than Shaggy.
It wasn't me, but we caught you on camera. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it's not looking good. But again, I guess I don't know. Yeah, he didn't even graduate from college. All he has is a GED. But like, part of me is like, good for him.
Great stuff.
Failing up.
He did fail up.
He's really failing
So
up.
shout out. We say boy of the year.
Boy of the year, George Santos.
Santos. Banging dudes.
Yeah.
Is even gay is another question.
I think he's saying he's married. That's the only thing that's probably shielding him.
Married
from
to
anything.
a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, being gay must help when you're getting called a liar by everyone.
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, is this because of my sexuality?"
Oh, that's nice. This guy's got all the angles.
But he straight up just goes,
Wow.
"We do stupid things." He goes,
Why'd you lie about going to jail for check fraud? Because I'm fucking gay. I gotta deal with questions like this. My homophobic counterparts.
Yeah.
Because
the whole thing is,
and they go, yeah, but and you go, and just because I'm a Brazilian gay man, it's like, no, wait, did you kill a guy or did you not kill a guy?
If I
was a straight white man, would I have to deal with questions like this?
Yeah, he's it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out because
Love him.
They can't get rid of him.
Love him. Okay, one more thing is so there's this Christian couple and they were banned from adopting after saying homosexuality is a sin.
Yeah.
And then they got a payout. So it's interesting when these things ever go the other way.
Yeah, this one's
almost always go the other way. It sort of reminds me of the gay kid
This seemed like they
situation.
paid them to make them go away because I actually agree that they should not be allowed to adopt.
What do you think about it?
Well, like their whole thing is because they're like
They went basically to the adopting place and they're like, listen, we want to adopt a baby. Obviously, no gay shit.
Yeah. But here's the
if
thing.
you give us a gay baby, I swear to God.
If you give, but their whole thing,
They would have gave you back for sure. Preemptively, they would have been like 3 months in, being like, we can already tell.
Yeah, why is this baby tap dancing so much? But this one was kind of odd because they got $3,000, which you're like, that's just like the government's like, yo, leave us alone, like whatever. But they straight up said they're like in the interview process, they already had kids, they just wanted more.
Well, they
kids.
basically said if you are Christian, if you're like super Christian or Muslim or a million other things, yeah, they do all believe this.
No, I know. But here's what they said where I go like, this is why I don't.
But I'm saying if you're born to a parent like this, it's going to be the same deal, which is
but it's one thing.
of kids.
Well, yes. This is the thing. So they go, look, if our kid's gay, we're going to try and essentially change them. Conversion, which is illegal in Australia, wherever they are. But more importantly, they go, if this doesn't take, we're giving the kid back. That's where you go, okay, if you're going to give the kid back, if you can't ungay your kid, you don't get to adopt a kid. That's the one thing. Like,
sure.
Like if you go like, hey, we won't agree with their lifestyle, but we'll still keep them.
Ballsy for them to say that stuff in the interview.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the guy that goes to the job interview and he shows up and he's like, listen, we don't have to work too hard here, do we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how long are breaks? Like those are the kind of questions you're asking.
Totally.
We get a lot of smoke breaks here. What's the talent like in the office?
You ever see? I actually watched.
Sounds like a guy. It sounds like the people throwing the adoption interview.
I watched it again yesterday, but the YouTube video of the guy who does.
You have fingers crossed. You go, yeah, if he's gay, no problem. And you have fingers crossed.
Have you ever seen the YouTube
table.
video of the guy who got all these job interviews and he has like a tall can of the Zoom interviews and he has a tall can of Bud Light like right in the frame or whatever. So he's like doing an interview and he's like they're asking him questions. And
That's
he's
a prank?
It's a prank. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a pretty funny YouTuber, and he's like he has this tall can of Bud Light, but he's like has like a shirt and tie on, or whatever, and he's like they ask him a question, he's like, fuck, I can't really remember. I'm pretty buzzed right now.
That's what this seems like.
But
the
this is
person
crazy.
that's
But this is
messing the interview.
crazy.
But if you go and you go, honey, like obviously we're going to this adoption agency. We're trying to get a kid. Let's not. We're giving him back, but let's not say the give him back stuff.
Exactly. You go, look, just between us, if the kid's gay and we can't turn him around, we're giving the kid back. But like, don't say that. That's that's
I was like, oh yeah, you start dating a girl and you're like, just so you know, if we break up, I will trash your house and be like, you just don't say that on the first
Yeah, you don't
date.
say that on the first date. You go, I will fucking just slander you to all your friends and just like really make your life miserable and cut your brake lines. I'm really crazy.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, though. If you're at the adoption thing, you got to be like, oh yeah, if he's gay, for sure, we're still be right part of the family, just as much as everyone else. And then you go, you and your honey, you're nudging each other under the table. We're totally gonna give him back.
Yeah, but that's crazy at the fucking
You definitely
interview
give him back, though.
to be like, yeah, if the conversion therapy doesn't take, we will be returning the child.
Yeah.
You're like, what? It's an
Wait,
actual
what?
human. You can't just do that.
Yeah, maybe they're so used to their like Christian church, they thought that would be like a plus, and they're like, oh, is that not?
Yeah.
Is that not what we're supposed to say? They're like, actually, that was them trying to.
No, they
answer
were going to be
properly.
like, we were going to say kill the kid, but I thought this is what you'd want us to give him back. I guess we could just kill the kid.
My buddy, I know a guy that's in the army, and he was saying that they do the army questions to say that if you're crazy or not or whatever, and the people answer them like what they think they want to answer, but a lot of the army guys are such psychos that they answer wrong. Like they'll be like, like, what would you do if 5 people come up? And they're like, kill them all, right? Like, and then they're like, no, that shows you're a psycho. And he's like, I just thought, like,
they thought you wanted to.
I thought that was the one part we're supposed to do is kill them all.
I mean, sometimes it is that though. They even said with the flogger earlier. If you read further down in the flogger,
what was another flogging
they were
thing?
Well, they were straight up like, we want people who have like zero empathy. Like you can't have any empathy to be a flogger.
Oh.
Which is like why it's hard to find women floggers, because like they have empathy when they're hitting a person. One of them was like, I knew the person I was flogging, because they're all totally anonymous.
And you know that they're going to flog a little less hard.
Well, they're just like, you got to be able to, like, it's your dad or your mom is getting flogged.
Sure.
And you just got to be like, flog's the flog.
Also, it is just like, but the idea of if you do go back and you're just like, hey, we ought to give this kid back. And you're like, what's the problem? He goes, gay. You gave us a gay
Unreconcilably gay.
kid. That's crazy, yeah.
You can't reconcile.
But I guess that is sort of, but I mean, how many kids right now like have, their parents one way, they're the other way, and vice versa. They're trying to kid at 14, trying to emancipate themselves because they're, dad's a Scientologist
tons of
or whatever.
street. You see that, like you hear it a lot of street kids or whatever. A lot of street kids where they're like, yeah, I was just like gay and fucking my parents kicked me out for being gay.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that
but-
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be better if they could just be returned?
But the bottom line is, if you're the parents and you're trying to get a kid,
you're trying to
tell
adopt.
them, and then the other side, if you're a kid and you have crazy religious parents, just pretend you're not gay to them until you're 60, and then get the fuck out of there.
For sure. Yeah, totally. If you're like an adopted, I'm sure you're just trying to get out of a shelter.
Treat your parents like a fucking cash machine. Get what you can
Not
from
that
them and
it's
get
ideal,
the hell
but-
out of Dodge.
Yeah. Not that it's ideal, but
So we think wins and losses. I guess there is Prince Harry, SPF, Elon Musk. Is that a win or a loss for the boys? That's a win, probably.
I for the boys,
Kanye's neutral. SPF's a loss for the boys, but then a win for the
Zelensky's
boys.
the biggest winner.
Zelensky's the biggest
Huge winner.
dude winner. Yeah.
Shop teachers living their truth is a huge win.
Do you have any others?
You know what? I have a interesting one. I don't know if people, but your water bottle, Ryan. This water bottle, people think that
very unhealthy what I'm doing here.
People think you bring in a new water bottle every week. This thing has been here the whole year. Same bottle. This is a fucking underdog winner of the year.
I did a full year with Bowling Springs.
You lost the cap in February. Like legit. It's like they don't sponsor us. It's $2 for a new one of these. Ryan is such an environmentalist.
I'm an environmentalist that I'm drinking fucking plastic shards.
Such a minimalist, Ryan Long. That bottle, low key, fucking winner of the year. Low key, and then losers, people whose identity is COVID.
Yes,
Me,
you, financially, me also financially.
Yeah, men. We
Man,
just said that.
but yeah, I feel like 2023 is the start of the comeback.
Yeah.
So it's how you go up and down.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the graph,
For sure.
This is the low point, but like there's gonna stay at the low point for a little while. But I think we start.
Yeah, we're basing out.
Yeah, we're
We're building a base.
We're building a base right now. And that's why the boys, the 2023, we have big plans. I'm back in New York.
I got some
baby.
really big things. I got some really big rings.
Back in New York, off tour for a bit. I already feel like I got my brain back and I'm not going anywhere. Big plans for the Patreon.
If you're not supporting
doing
the
Q&As
Patreon.
there. We're going to do Q&As with some guests and we're just going to put them there. I got stuff,
we
friend.
got some shit popping off on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/theboyscast. Happy New Year. Peace.
Happy New Year.